From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Sunday joined family members and supporters in marking the 36th death anniversary of his father and namesake, former President Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. The President attended a memorial mass at the Immaculate Conception Parish in his hometown Batac, Ilocos Norte Province, accompanied by relatives and loyalists who gathered to honor the elder Marcos's legacy. In a brief message posted on social media, the President reflected on his father's enduring influence. Just weeks earlier, on September 11th, the President commemorated his father's 108th birth anniversary by calling on Filipinos to live lives defined by public service, sacrifice, and the defense of national dignity, values which he said best honor the memory of the former leader.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Sunday visited the Mariano Marcos Memorial Hospital and Medical Center, or MMMHNMC, in Batac City, Ilocos Norte Province to ensure equitable and inclusive access to healthcare. Accompanied by Ilocos Norte Governor Cecilia Araneta Marcos and presidential son William Vincent Araneta Marcos, the President personally checked on patients and hospital staff in various medical wards. President Marcos also observed the process for zero balance billing, or ZBB, patients who were scheduled for discharge. According to Dr. Jose Orosa III, officer in charge of MMMHNMC, the hospital has been implementing the ZBB program for the past 6 years for patients in wards or basic accommodations. MMMHNMC has 13 specialty centers with a total bed capacity of 400. Currently, it is operating with 515 beds, which is approximately 130% of its capacity. It also serves as one of the 31 cancer treatment sites designated by the Department of Health, or DOH, to provide free screenings and consultations to promote early cancer detection and improve treatment outcomes.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Saturday led the distribution of aid to farmers and families affected by recent calamities in Gonzaga, Cagayan Province. The President, joined by Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr., turned over seeds, fertilizers, and other farm inputs from the Department of Agriculture, or DA, to select beneficiaries. Each of the 10 select recipients also received 7,000 pesos worth of rice farmers' financial assistance. President Marcos also distributed food packs and 10,000 pesos in cash assistance from the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD. In his speech at the Gonzaga People's Gymnasium, President Marcos said the ceremonial distribution of assistance reaffirmed his administration's commitment to strengthening disaster response during times of calamities. The chief executive underscored the importance of strengthening weather forecasting capabilities and reforming agricultural practices to better respond to the challenges brought by climate change. Tropical cyclone Nando hit several areas in northern Luzon during the past weekend, damaging crops and disrupting livelihoods, particularly in agricultural communities like Cagayan.
Kaya naman kami nandito upang makatulong sa ating mga magsasaka at mga manalo tayo nga mag-recover dito sa mga nawala sa inyo na kinuha ng typhoon ng Nando dito sa nakaraan na weekend. Ay may marami po tayong naging biktima at marami po tayong kailangan na tulungan dahil po eto nga wala tayong magagawa. Nagbabago talaga ang panahon. Kailangan po natin baguhin ang ating sistema ng agrikultura. Kailangan natin kilalanin at maunawaan kung ano ba ang kailangan gawin para sa sistema ng ating mga ng ating weather prediction, ng pag-asa, lahat yan para mas maganda ang ating response.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meantime, only flood control projects that meet all necessary requirements will be allowed to proceed, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. said on Saturday, emphasizing his commitment to curbing irregularities in the implementation of infrastructure projects. During an aid distribution in Gonzaga, Cagayan Province, the President said flood control projects will only be implemented if the proposal and program of work are properly prepared and have clearance from the local government units or LGUs. President Marcos assured the public of the continued implementation of fully compliant flood control projects, noting that more than 300 billion pesos are available to fund them until next year. This as the President lamented the scrapping of the requirement for LGUs to formally accept national infrastructure projects, a process he said helps ensure transparency and accountability. President Marcos earlier restored the policy requiring LGUs to formally accept projects before they are declared completed. The chief executive attributed the prevalence of substandard and non-existent flood control projects to the removal of LGU participation.
Huwag po kayong mag-alala. Hindi ibig sabihin matitigil ang flood control project dahil po sa aming pag-aaral, meron pa po yung budget ng flood control project sa 2025 ay 300 plus billion. So, hindi pa naubos yun. So, tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang magiging flood control project hanggang sa susunod na taon. At meron naman tayong i-approve na flood control project para naman basta't nakita natin ay maayos ang proposal, maayos ang program of work, maayos ang completion, may acceptance ng local government. That's the new factor that we put in. Gov. Egay, I was surprised because nung umikot ako, kausap yung isang barangay chairman, wala na palang acceptance ngayon. Hindi pwede yun. Kaya ang acceptance po, pagka may project po ng national government, halimbawa, gagawa sila ng kalsada, magtatayo ng school building, at maglalagay sila ng flood control. Nung governor po ako, hindi po pwedeng sabihin completed yung project na yun hanggang tinanggap ng local government executive. Ang problema, tinanggal yun noong nakaraang ilang taon. I don't know what year they removed that pero nagulat ako kasi napaka-importante yan na meron kang clearance sa barangay chairman, may clearance ka sa mayor, may clearance ka sa probinsya. Dahil yun ang paraan namin sa local government para tiyakin na yung mga project ay magandang pagkagawa at tama at hindi naman nagmahal ng masyado. Kaya po, ibabalik po natin. Yan, Gob. lahat ng LGU ngayon, mula ngayon, ay ibabalik natin ang proseso ng pag-accept ng local government executive.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Also on Saturday, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. visited Cagayan Province to check on the implementation of the Zero Balance Billing or ZBB policy at a local hospital and lead the Yaman ng Kalusugan program or YAKAP caravan. The President first stopped at the Alfonso Ponce Enrile Memorial District Hospital or APE-MDH in Gonzaga, where he was welcomed by Governor Edgar Aglipay, Mayor Relly Dalmaceda, and Hospital Chief Dr. Rowena Sion. President Marcos met with healthcare workers, visited patients in the ward section, and checked how the ZBB program is being carried out. In a news release, the Presidential Communications Office, or PCO, said, the President witnessed firsthand how the Zero Balance Billing initiative is being implemented at the district hospital, which is fully supported by the provincial government. The PCO added that the program ensures that no out-of-pocket expenses are required for eligible patients during confinement in government hospital wards. President Marcos also announced plans to expand the Medical Assistance for Indigent Patients or MAIP program and establish specialty wards in provincial hospitals for cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and dialysis care, further decentralizing access to critical medical services. APE-MDH is a Level 1 district hospital with a 25-bed capacity. It is a vital healthcare hub for the municipalities of Gonzaga, Santa Ana, Santa Teresita, and parts of Buguey. The hospital attends to an average of 210 patients daily and is supported by a dedicated workforce of 95 medical and non-medical personnel. Meantime, President Marcos also went to Santa Ana Fishery National High School to lead the medical mission conducted under YAKAP, a flagship health initiative of the administration in partnership with the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation or PhilHealth, providing health services to learners as well as teaching and non-teaching personnel. Around 500 teachers, students, and parents received medical and dental services, psychological first aid, and free medicines following their checkups. YAKAP, an expanded version of PhilHealth's Konsultasyong Sulit at Tama program, now covers additional medicines, essential drugs, laboratory procedures, and cancer screening. It currently operates in 3,582 facilities nationwide, reaching 91% of cities and municipalities. President Marcos likewise oversaw the distribution of emergency kits to 100 learners and food packs to 100 teaching and non-teaching personnel. Santa Ana Fishery National High School has a student population of 2,044. Ahead of the caravan, President Marcos presided over a situation briefing on recent calamities in Cagayan, joined by Education Secretary Sani Angara, Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr., Social Welfare Secretary Rex Gatchalian, Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon, and local officials. The Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council reported 655.6 million pesos in damage to agriculture, fisheries, livestock, and infrastructure, while 41,001 houses were damaged, 2,616 destroyed, and 38,385 partially damaged.
Dateline Malacañang.
Presidential Communications Office or PCO Acting Secretary Dave Gomez on Saturday said, Malacañang respects the independence of the Independent Commission for Infrastructure or ICI after Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong resigned as its special advisor. In a statement, Gomez said the palace respects the autonomy of the commission. Gomez issued the statement shortly after Magalong announced his decision to step down as ICI's special advisor amid concerns over possible conflict of interest. Magalong clarified that there is no conflict of interest in his dual role as ICI's special advisor and as a local official, stressing that he is always guided by one principle, the highest standards of integrity in public service. Despite his decision to give up his advisory role in the ICI, Magalong said his commitment to truth and justice remains steadfast, assuring the public that he will continue his crusade against corruption. Executive Order or EO number 94, issued by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on September 11th, created the ICI to investigate and recommend appropriate charges against individuals involved in anomalies in government flood control and infrastructure projects. As special advisor, Magalong acts as ICI investigator, bringing with him his track record as former head of the Philippine National Police or PNP Criminal Investigation and Detection Group or CIDG. Magalong urged Filipinos to remain vigilant and continue to seek transparency, accountability, and good governance for our country and for the future generations of Filipinos. He said eradicating corruption will be a long fight as its root causes are deeply entrenched. Magalong also called on the public to stand united against greatest injustice.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang on Saturday slammed the camp of former President Rodrigo R. Duterte for distorting facts related to his request for interim release from the custody of the International Criminal Court or ICC. This was after Duterte's legal counsel, Nicholas Kaufman, in a redacted document dated September 26, relayed to the ICC's pretrial Chamber 1 the alleged position of the Philippine government, citing the recent statement made by Palace Press Officer Claire Castro. Kaufman told the ICC that Malacañang would not oppose Duterte's interim release plea, based on Castro's remarks that Vice President Sara Duterte seemed to benefit from her travels abroad after she said that a third country already expressed approval to host her father. In a statement, Castro said Kaufman appears to have mastered the art of twisting some facts, recalling his previous claim that the ICC had no objection to the request for Duterte's interim release, a claim contracted by the prosecutor's opposition filing. He maintained that the Marcos administration has no involvement in Duterte's case before the ICC, particularly in the request for an interim release. Castro said that while the Philippine government is not involved in the matter, it will respect whatever decision the ICC will make. In a court document signed by ICC Deputy Prosecutor Mame Manyaye Niyang, Duterte was charged with 3 counts of murder against humanity for the deaths of 78 individuals during the anti-illegal drugs campaign he initiated when he was Davao City Mayor and during his presidency.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news, the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRRMC, on Sunday reported that the combined effects of the southwest monsoon, or habagat, and 3 tropical cyclones, namely Mirasol, Nando, and Opong, have left 26 people dead and nearly 2.8 million affected across the Philippines. A total of 738,714 families, or 2,797,706 individuals have been affected by days of torrential rains, floods, and landslides triggered by the enhanced southwest monsoon. Of the affected population, 46,611 families, or 163,317 persons, are in 2,680 evacuation centers, while 31,448 families, or 118,957 individuals, are being assisted outside evacuation sites. The NDRRMC reported that 26 people have died, 33 were injured, and 14 remained missing. Most of the fatalities were recorded in Cagayan Valley and Bicol region. The Cordillera Administrative Region, or CAR, recorded 4 deaths, Central Luzon and Central Visayas 2 each, and Eastern Visayas with 1. However, 22 of the fatalities are for validation, while 4 have already been confirmed. At least 8,916 houses sustained damage across Ilocos Region, Cagayan Valley Region, CAR, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, Bicol Region, Western Visayas, Zamboanga Peninsula, and the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao or BAR. Damage to agriculture has exceeded 1 billion pesos according to the report, while destruction to infrastructure was estimated over 864 million pesos in Ilocos Region, Cagayan Valley Region, CAR, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, Bicol Region, and Western and Central Visayas. Meanwhile, government assistance worth over 137 million pesos has been extended to 149,675 families through concerned national agencies and local government units.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, Philippine Department of Migrant Workers, or DMW Secretary Hans Leo expressed his firm support and recognition to the Filipino maritime sector in celebration of the 30th National Seafarers Day that was held in Manila on Sunday. In his message, Secretary Cactac praised the important role of Filipino seafarers play in maintaining world trade and development of the Philippine economy. The government reassured its full support to their rights, welfare, and dignity. Under the leadership of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and in accordance with the direction of a new Philippines, the Secretary pointed out the directive of the President to expedite the processes and take out bureaucratic obstacles for seafarers. Cactac encouraged manning agencies to fast-track the deployment of qualified applicants to support and help them set sail again. Secretary Cactac also extended his thanks to manning agencies and partner government agencies for their continued cooperation to ensure the safe, legal, and humane work of Filipino seafarers all over the world. He shared the 3 leading pillars of the DMW's current maritime agenda, including policy and law, which Cactac boasted with the passing of the Magna Carta for Filipino seafarers that aims to ensure the rights, protection, and dignity of every seafarer. Regulation and implementation that strengthened the DMW's campaign against illegal recruitment and human trafficking, and welfare and protection amid the chaos in maritime zones like the Red Sea. Cactac said that upon the directives of the President, the government should talk, take care of, and sympathize with the families of the affected seafarers, and in times of need, the government should always be there.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service is live on audio streaming. Just download Evox PBS Receiver on your Google Play Store or the App Store from your Apple phone. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Just type in and search for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.